Selling on eBay is free, is it? I've just paid £4.51 for the privilege of selling something on eBay. And that's because promoted listings, if you don't promote it, you don't sell it. Seems that way on eBay. I had a trading card, Magic the Gathering card, up for sale for over a month and nobody bought it. And then lo and behold, as soon as I turned on the promoted listings, it sold. And I was charged £4.51 for the privilege on a £26 item. And the buyer was also charged £1.90. And that works out about 25%. So selling on eBay is dead. I think it looks that way. Selling gold and silver on eBay is dead and also comes with the added risk of being ripped off or having your money held for 30 days. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I can feel a good old rant coming on. Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble where we have a down-to-earth discussion about all things precious and shiny. Now I want to revisit my topic of eBay and share some more of my experiences selling on eBay. Not necessarily coins, I've been selling down a lot of my personal possessions recently, just trying to declutter. Part of that ream of personal possessions has been some trading cards, some collectible trading cards. Magic the Gathering, for those that perhaps don't know which I'm talking about. I have some pretty rare cards that I've been selling. Not like super rare, I mean we're talking, well, for example, one here sold for £26 and 24 pennies. And you can see at the top there, I was charged £4.51 for the pleasure of selling. And you might go, hang on a minute, you made a video just recently saying it's free to sell on eBay. Well, yeah, it is free to sell. I really needed to get those inverted commas in there because it's free to sell if you don't sell, basically. Because if you don't use promoted listings, the chances of you selling an item is next to zero after these changes that happened from the 4th of February where they implemented buyer's fees. And that's another fee that's been attached as good news for people on eBay. You will now have the buyer's fee, which was there for enhanced buyer protection. But to be honest, buyers always had the protection on eBay. They always did. You know, it was all there. And now eBay are just pocketing as much money as they can and pushing people away from private sales. So I've got experiences to share about the non-coin stuff, but I think it's very relevant for coin stuff still because whilst you might not use eBay for selling things like a bullion eagle here or even sovereigns, there are a lot of benefits on that marketplace for selling premium items. And you will get better prices on there for selling premium items than not. But there are a lot of pitfalls and a lot of complications now for selling on eBay that make it a really less lucrative platform to do. And I don't really know what the alternative is. I'm blessed, of course, that I've got a YouTube channel with 70,000 subscribers. We surpassed 70,000 earlier this week, and that's pretty mad. And it's still growing at a decent rate of like 1,700 a month. So welcome to all you newbies. You know, I have this luxury where I can sell bits of gold and silver on my platform and put it on my website and sell without fees. And it's easy, but that's not what other people can do. And, you know, I can't just go and stick a bunch of my old Magic the Gathering cards up on eBay, up on my website and hope that they'll sell to the right people. eBay brings you the marketplace and they seem to want to charge you through the nose for that. So promoted listings are the fucking bane of my life. Excuse my language there under my breath, but they are the bane of my life. I hate it. Whenever I do a Google search for something and you see the first 3 or 4 listings in there being promoted listings, and it's just whoever's paid to be in that top spot. And unfortunately, there are people who just click on whatever comes at the top. And that's what happens when people get scammed, scammed legally by these fraudulent bullion dealers that charge you, 50% margins on bullion coins because you found them at the top of the bullion list and of a Google search, and they just pay for that. And it's worth doing because that's how they make their money. But on eBay, it's going that way as well. Even I hate it on Amazon. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm searching for a particular product on Amazon and I search for something and I get all of these really junk products from abroad, let's say, I don't want it to sort of turn into an anti that country rhetoric. That's not what I'm about. But the point is that there are a lot of really poor products out there and I want to find the good products, and I can't find the good products because they're on the 17th page hidden away because they're not being promoted. And that's what's happening on eBay. So my experiences on eBay were, I was selling loads on eBay before the buyer's fees came in. I priced my Magic the Gathering cards at what I thought were really competitive prices, and I was right because they were selling. I was getting sales every day, sometimes multiple sales per day, and it was going really well. 4th of February came along, buyer's fees came in, 75p plus 4%, and if you're selling something at 10 quid, that's like £1.90 right on top. That's 20% extra that the buyers have to pay. And they sold it to everyone on the platform in the UK as it's a buyer's fee. The sellers don't pay a penny, but they do because people won't buy the products. And that happened. My sales fell off a cliff. 0 sales. Had to be doing best offers, had to discount things down by that like £2 almost to even get the sales. And then, of course, when I repriced my items to try and, mitigate that, 0 sales once again. So, you're faced with that 20% margin call on those small items, and it sucks. I got a little offer from eBay for £15 credit on a promoted listings sort of campaign, which I did and I turned on, and lo and behold, all of my sales started coming in at those enhanced rates. And it was great because I wasn't paying any of those sellers' fees. Those promoted listing fees, sorry, I should call them. But then, of course, that £15 credit runs out pretty quickly. Sold 7 items and it's gone. And they come back. And here's the prime example of why eBay have a vested interest in this, and they're going to make hand over fist on all the money that they charge for it. I've redacted a few little bits and bobs here because this was a private thing on my private eBay account, selling my own private possessions, and quite frankly, I don't want you guys to know what I've been selling. So here we go, £26.24 I sold a Magic the Gathering card. Brilliant. The fee deducted, promoted listings, £4.51. And that includes VAT, so it's 13% is their ad rate, and then you get 20% on top of that, so it's 13% plus VAT. It's like 16%, it's absolutely rip-off territory, but it wouldn't have sold. I mean, this listing was up for a month before it sold. I sold it, what was it on here? 5th March, so literally a month. I put it up after the buyer fees change and it hadn't sold. Put it up on the promoted listings tab and it sold within 2 days. And I think that speaks volumes. I think eBay then deliberately goes, yeah, do you know what? We're just not going to show this product to anybody. We're not going to get it out there. And then, oh, look, somebody's now seen it through our promoted listings. That'll be £4.51, please. And not only do they charge the £4.51, of course, the person that bought it off me would have paid £1.90 odd in fees, which brings their total to something like £6.50. And eBay, if you do £6.50 divided by £26.54, 24.49%, 24.5% is what eBay are pocketing. It's ridiculous. So small products on eBay selling is dead if you're a private seller. It's no better if you're a business seller because you have to pay like 30 quid a month just to be a shop on eBay. You then have to pay your listings fees. You have to pay your seller's fees of like 12, 13%, whatever it is. It's just, you don't get the buyers paying the buyers fees, but everything else is through the nose. And I've seen it on a lot of the different community forums, community tabs, that basically eBay is a dying and dead platform. In fact, even on the videos that I've talked about this, there are lots of people saying that they've been selling on eBay for decades, 20 years, and now they've just gone. So what impact does that have on us as coin collectors and coin maybe sellers, coin buyers? If you're a personal investor that's just bought a few bits and bobs, maybe you've bought a few collectible coins here and there, maybe you've even bought some of them off eBay in the past. eBay was and used to be the single only best place to sell them. You could take them to a dealer, get spot price, you could take them on eBay and get 100% more for those items. And there is still quite a lot of stuff for sale on eBay, but the lower end stuff is just not practical. And the lower you go in terms of price points, the more it is expensive in terms of buyer's fees from private stuff, and the less lucrative it is for anybody involved. Now, look, I'm not saying that everybody should be able to sell completely for free on eBay and not have any, any kind of comeback on that, because that's, they are providing a service at the end of the day. I shouldn't sort of really reiterate that I don't want this to be completely free. I don't think that I am moaning about them taking any money off me. I just think they're taking far too much money off me. And I think also the fact that they are using the promoted tabs as essentially a piggy bank bribery tool to get you to pay to sell your items is borderline criminal, really. I mean, it's not probably legally criminal. In fact, I know it's not legally criminal, but it's just not very good at all. And also then there's the fact that they delay your payments until 2 days after delivery, or I think it's like 14 days after delivery if you've used an untracked service. So I've been doing that for a lot of the stuff. I've been selling items at like 10 quid. So there's no point in spending, again, like if I sell something for 10 quid and I've had to use a promoted listing for 2, quid, and then it's £8 I pay for postage. You know, if it's just a single card, I can pop that in the post for 85p. If it's like sent through tracked and signed or whatever it is, the 24/48 track service, that's £2.70. So again, you know, you go from £10 down to £8 down to £5 almost from your seller's fees. It's just not worth it. It just isn't worth it. But then you have to wait 2 weeks for your money to come out. And I've had a couple of times, I had one buyer that I genuinely thought was like going to rip me off. So in fact, two. There was one that I genuinely thought was going to rip me off because the name on the seller, I can't say it, can I? Because that would be GDPR. But it was basically a spoonerism of a name that was insinuating that they were going to be getting away with theft. I saw the name after I put it in the post. I didn't look at it before. You just print the label and off you go. And I was like, oh my God, that's just not a real name. That is a joke name, and I'm gonna get ripped off. It was only £10 on it, so I was like, whatever. It's already gone now. And then there was another one where the buyer contacted me after they received the card and went, "It's a fake card," and I'm like, no, it's not. And then I just like did a few demonstrations on a very quick little photo and of how to test Magic the Gathering cards to be whether they're fake or not. And the buyer then disappeared and didn't put a claim in. I genuinely thought he was going to put a claim in. Again, it was only for a £5 Magic the Gathering card, and I was like, you know, it's like, well, really? People are going to steal £5 off you, and if they come to me for £5, then whatever. And you know, I'm not doing this as a business, I'm not doing this as trading. And a lot of people get scared of eBay now because they say they're going to be trading, and then, you know, you're going to get reported to HMRC and pay your taxes on your £5 that you've sold your Magic the Gathering card on. No, that's not how things go. You know, I'm just selling down my personal private possessions. If someone wants to steal £5 off me, then sure, I guess that's part of the risk of dealing on eBay. So from a fraudulent buyer perspective, I haven't had any fraudulent claims put through. I've had a few like late delivery ones because, you know, sending untracked through Royal Mail, sometimes it takes a couple of days. But generally speaking, I found it to be quite a good experience from that sense. I think that changes if you start to sell more valuable things. If you sell gold on eBay, that's certainly a bigger risk. You know, the fact that, you know, if I sell a £5 Magic the Gathering card, somebody gets it, says it's fake, sends it back, and doesn't send back the real one, sure, I lose £5. If I sell a £550 sovereign on eBay and someone says it's fake and sends back a fake one instead of the real one, then you lose £550. That ain't good. So that, from my perspective, is you know, fine. It's just selling down personal possessions, but it sucks. It does, and it's not great. And if you were relying on eBay to sell some of your coins that you've been collecting, or collectibles and numismatics that are not super high value, maybe even, I've seen a lot of proof coins go for sale on eBay. I've sold a lot of proof coins on eBay in the past. You know, it sucks. You're getting a lot less value than you used to when it was just the regular seller's fees. And half the time when it was just the regular seller's fees, you could wait and you get the 80% off seller's fees offers. So, you know, to put them in perspective, I remember selling, for example, I did a video series where I was selling some of the Monarch series, the cancelled coins from the Royal Mint, and you know, the seller's fees on them for about £100 a coin that I was getting, I was putting in about £2, I think it was, for seller's fees, and that was it. £2 to sell it. Great. Now, if you sold a £100 item as a private seller on eBay, it's going to be £4 plus 75 cents. Call it better part of £5 for the buyer's fees, which basically comes out of your, you know, overall price that you'd have to charge. You will not sell it unless it's promoted. I can guarantee that. You'll sell it if it's an auction, but you'll probably not get a great amount for it. If you want to just put something as a buy it now, you'll have to promote it. So you're going to lose 16% after VAT. So you're going to lose what, 14, 15 quid from that. Plus the fiver for, you know, the buyer's fee, you're losing 20 quid, 20%. It's 10 times as much as it used to be. eBay, you suck. You suck, you suck, you suck. It does suck, but there's no other options out there at the moment, unfortunately. Anyway, look, that's my rant. That's my ramble. That's what I do best. I like to rant and ramble. I'd love to know what you think about it. Have you had recent experiences selling on eBay? For those outside the UK, you might be confused and going, oh, hang on, it's not free to sell on eBay where I am. It will be. It will be soon. Don't worry. I'm sure eBay will roll it out because, as I said, they are going from, like, you know, selling fees of 10%, whatever it might be, to 20, 30%. On low items, and they're just eventually going to try and get rid of all private sellers on eBay. I know it, and it sucks. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and experiences down in the comment section. I have a serial number here for you Cool Kids Clubs members to quote and let me know that you're super cool. Is it going to focus? Yes, it is. I think we've done this one before, but it is RC 000191. If you quote me that, you'll be cool. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.